Okay, so in this video, we'll be talking about the first principle or differentiating using the first principle. When you're differentiating using the first principle, you need to go with the formula of f prime equal to lim and h is approaching 0 and f of x plus h minus f of x over h. So this is the formula that we use whenever differentiating using the first principle. So how does it work, or how do you answer questions when you have this type of the differentiating using the first principle? So the good examples that I can say about the first principle, these are the examples. The first one is we need to differentiate the following equations, right? First one says differentiate by using the first principle. So when you have been given such type of equation, so a we take as our a as y equal to x squared, like that. So remember that we're differentiating using the first principle. So the question is, how do we differentiate such type of equation when you're using the first principle? So our equation was what? Y equal to what? X squared. So before you do anything, the first thing that you need to do is to write the formula. So you say f prime equal to lim and h is approaching 0 and f of x plus h minus f of x over what? Over h. So the first thing that you need to do is you need to find what we call the what? The f of x. So the f of x is a given equation, which is x squared. Then the next thing is you need to find what we call x plus h. So this one will replace wherever there's x in the given equation, right? So remember that the given equation is x squared. So meaning that you have to say x squared plus, like that, right? Then what you do next, you say x plus h, x plus what? H. There are two. So here we're doing expanding. So after expanding, you have something like this: hx plus what? Hx plus hx squared, such that you have x squared plus, that will come out to 2hx and plus what? Squared. So this is your f of x plus h. Then from there, now what you do next is you substitute, right, in the given equation. So f of x prime equal to lim h is approaching 0 and f of x plus h minus f of x over h. Then you say lim h is approaching 0, then you substitute here where there's f of x. What is your f of x? This is the one. That's your f of x, right? So let's substitute. We'll substitute there with that equation: x squared plus 2hx and plus h, like that, right? H squared minus, what is your f of x? The f of x was this part here. This is your f of x, which is what? X squared over what? Over h. Then what's the next thing? It will be lim h is approaching 0, and then this x and this x, they'll subtract, then what you remain with? You remain with 2hx plus h squared over h. Then you say lim. The next thing that you do is you factor out the h. So it will be what? 2 here after factoring out the h, meaning there will be 2x plus h over h. Then this h and this h, they will divide. You remain with lim h is approaching 0. Then you have 2x plus h. Then from there now you substitute, which is your answer will be wherever there's h, you have to substitute with what? 0. So meaning that there after putting 0, then you have the answer, which is what? 2 of x. So 2 of x, that's the f of x prime. So this is how you answer this type of what? Of the question. Then the other example that we need to take note of is this one. Is they can ask you to differentiate using the first principle this equation, which is 1 over x, like that. Now sometimes if you've been given this type of equation, the question is how do you differentiate that one? The first thing is to write the formula, which is what? Lim h is approaching 0, h is approaching 0, then the next thing, which is what? F of x plus h minus f of x over h, like that, right? Then now the next thing is, what is f of x? It's the given equation, which is 1 over x. Then f of x plus h is what? Wherever there's x, you have to replace with x plus h. So 1 over, down here there's x, so we have to say 1 over x plus h, like that, right? Then the next thing is we have to substitute in the given equation. F of x prime equal to lim, then h is approaching 0, and then what is f of x plus h? It's in 1 over x plus h minus, what is f of x? It's 1 over what? X, like that, divide by what? By h. Then you say lim h is approaching 0, then you write that one, which is x plus h, x there, right? Now that's a common denominator. We have looked for common denominator, and the common denominator is this one. Then you say x plus h into x plus h and x. The answer is x, so you put x on top, times 1. Then there again, your answer is x plus h, like that. Then remember there was over 1 here, so it means that it will be 1 on top over h, like that. So your answer will be lim h is approaching 0, then you have x minus h over, here what I've done, I've multiplied this negative here to everything there. That's why it's like that. Then x plus h, then x there, then times 1 over h. The next thing is lim h is approaching 0, then there on top you have h over x plus h, down here x times 1 over h. Now this h and this h, they will divide, you remain with 1 on top, so you have lim h is approaching 0, then that is negative 1 over x plus h and x. The next thing is you substitute, that is x plus 0 and x. Then you have negative 1 over x and x, such that we have negative 1 over x squared. So this is your f of x prime. So that's how you differentiate this type of equation. And then if you have this type of equation, they can ask you to differentiate this one here, which is f of x equal to, now we have been given the square root of x. They have told you to differentiate using the first what? Principle. So you have to differentiate this one using the first principle. First thing that you need to do here in this situation is this. The first thing that you need to do in this situation is this. Write the equation f of x prime equal to lim, then h is approaching 0, f of x plus h minus f of x of what? Over h. What is the f of x? It is root of x. And then what is x? What is f of x plus h? It's what? Wherever there's x, you replace with what? X plus h. Like that. Then let's substitute the lim. X is approaching 0. Then the next thing is substitute x plus h minus root of x over h. The next thing that you do is we rationalize. So in this situation, the part that we need to rationalize is the numerator. So let's rationalize the numerator. And how do we rationalize the numerator? We look out for the conjugate of this x plus h minus root of x. So what's the conjugate? The conjugate is x plus h. Here we had a negative, but in this situation it's conjugated, it would have a positive. So you multiply the conjugate on the numerator again on the what? Denominator. Plus root of x. So when you multiply everything, h is approaching that, right? So what will happen is that root of x plus h times root of x plus h, the answer is x plus what? H. Then minus, or plus, sorry, root of x, then root of x plus h minus root of x, like that, then minus what? X over h, then root of x plus h plus root of x, like that. And then we have lim h is approaching 0. This part here, they will subtract. Then again this x and this x, they subtract. What you remain with? You remain with h on top. So you have h there, then root of x plus h plus root of x, like that. And this h and this h, they will divide. You have lim h is approaching 0, 1 over root of x plus h, then plus what? X. Then from there now, what you do next is we substitute. So you have 1 over root of x plus 0, I substitute wherever there's 0, plus x. Then in this expression you have 1 over root of x plus root of x, 1 over 2 root of x. So this is the f of x prime. So that's how you answer those type of what? Those type of equations.